Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another stream, guys. Here on this Tuesday evening, we are back with another live stream flying the A320. This time we are in the European area. I don't think I've ever done one of these flights on the stream before, so it's really nice to do something a little bit different. Some of us are very comfortable flying in certain parts of the world, but hey, we will try this one out. And we're heading down to Palmero and back once time will permit. That is the plan. Very short flight. It is approximately 43 minutes down to Palmero. And probably should be the same amount coming back. So give or take 2 hours on the, well, 2.5 hours going back and forth. So it should be a pretty nice flight heading down. Initially, I wanted to be on the stream with some air traffic control. However, I guess we missed air traffic control, so we just have to roll with it. But we'll be fine. We will be fine. So we're gonna head down to Palmero shortly as we take the A320 in the Olympic colors, the Winter Olympics. This is a beautiful paint that we see here from Itaro Airways with the Winter Olympics that would have happened right here in Rome, well, in Italy. So we see Milano Cortina. So we have that. Here's the official airline sponsor of Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics 2026. If you're interested in that, this should be a nice livery for you. It's pretty nice. Actually, I quite like it. Not sure how long they'll keep the aircraft color like this, but we shall fly it down to Palmera and back. So once again, welcome to the stream. If it's your first time here, listen, there's a subscribe button right there, and also once you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell as well, so you do not miss the next time that we go live. Always is great. It's a pleasure for us to be in your company, and of course the subscription is going to help the channel and also to grow, so we do appreciate that. All right, it is now 7:38. Let's jump right in and get started. So we're in the flight deck here on stand 313. That's having those here. Nevertheless, we move on. So we are 23 minutes. Just gonna add a couple minutes here just so we don't have any issues with our I don't remember the name of the stuff. AOC. It is the ADC delay. Don't want to have any delay. So let's just add a couple of minutes. No problems. Let's go flight net on the second page. Init dinner request. And let's get this going. There we go. Init on the left side. And do init request. Wait a few seconds and that comes up, and it is India Tango Yankee 1777. Costing next today is going to be 32 and cruising at flight number 290. We may be able to go up a little bit higher, but we'll see how that goes. Pretty short flight, only 200 miles thereabout. So up or down pretty much. Let's go to our flight plan page. And let's check the weather right quick. Wind 01014, cab okay. Temperature is 10, nice and cool. Finish 1012. Let's set that 1012. Set twice. Good. While we're sitting and waiting for that, let's go ahead and begin the boarding process with our fuel and all that. So we have planned 6 tons, 6.9 tons. So that will go ahead and get that done with 149 passengers. Our load for this evening's flight. I've done it on a daytime flight so we can get to see stuff outside. Nighttime flights are somewhat not just sitting there watching outside in the dark. So we'll do this in the night. So it is almost as if it were the real world flight at 7 in the morning. So let's look at our charts for departure this evening, or this morning rather. Wind 010. So we can depart using runway 25. And we use a SOSAC 5 Alpha. SOSAC 5 Alpha will make the Romeo Foxtrot 777, then right to Romeo 787, then left to Romeo Foxtrot 789, then to SOSAC, and then we'll join the rest of the flight. Let's input that now. LRF, departure, runway 25, and the SOSAC 5 Alpha. And our flight plan is the PEP 9B. So there we go. And we'll insert that. Wonder if it's a little bit different here in these parts. Let's see if there's something else to look at. There might be an additional there we go. So after departure from SOSAC, now we take PEP 9B, which takes us south on 177 to the Twirly, then to Canut, then to Pepit, down to Rota. Yeah, after Pepix, then we go somewhere else. So that's it, right? So we have two SIDs that we have to look at. First one is the SOSAC 5, then the Pepix 9 Bravo, which would then take us from Pepix and then southwards to the rest of our flight plan. So here we go. Pepix, then towards Unixo, and then southwards. So that's about that. The GSX is doing fueling right here. We can see that outside. For the arrival, we're using the Luron 3 November. Let's see what that looks like. Luron 3 November. And we're taking that from Luron, which is here. And this arrival gives us that zigzag kind of thing. So from Luron coming into Nalov, and then we're to make this sort of movement here. But we'll probably just take it from Luron to Nalov, and we take it to Ixasi, and then into the arrival. So that's kind of what we'll do. So let's get that Palmero arrival, and the weather over here is winds 330 at With UCs are at 1.3, so when we look at the charts, the runway that is most suitable, runway 25. So we will change. So let's see, if we're using runway 25, that means we will be using the run 5 Lima. So we'll change the arrival of the Luron 5 Lima. Here we go. We'll switch that out. There we go. And then we'll also have to switch the approach, which will be the Aylex Zulu. Aylex Zulu, and we could probably have the Arnav. All right, cool. So that is set up thus far. So we're good to go with that. So it will be the Aylex, which is not available. Ooh. So it is going to be the Arnav Zulu approach using the Luron 5 Lima. And that will be via the last cargo transition. Good, so we will insert that. Let's double check the route. We follow the departure, right turn, slight right turn, and left southbound, then to Sosag Corley, then to Conot, then to Pepix. That's Unixo, Doris, past the equal time point to Lauren, then to Aylex, and all this zigzag drama, and we will come in and direct to Lavru, and then into our line approach. Great. Cool. The aircraft is being boarded now. Good. Perfect. All right. So div strip, that's our secondary flight plan. And after 410, if we have any issues, then we will do LIRF as our arrival, and we'll be using the I'm trying to remember what they used the arrival for this. So let's do Aylex before left. Aylex before left. No star. And no. So we will have that set up in the event we have to come back. And that is good to go. So diff strip. So radio looks good. Let's go to init B. And we are at 58.2, 58.2. Your fuel weight CG is 32.9. Fuel on board is 6.2 tons. Okay. have some tailwinds of plus 54. Snakes on your plane. No Gavin. Ain't no snakes on this plane, bro. Welcome to the stream, brother. Passengers boarding as they come in. Pretty good. Let's turn on this one.
Gentlemen, welcome aboard. For your safety, we kindly ask you to place your hand luggage in the overhead lockers or under the sleeping bag.
I accept that.
You might use your mobile phones when possible, computers and TV aircraft don't stay clear. Thank you.
And so that's set. Then we have
Per motivi di sicurezza vi invitiamo ad allacciare le cinture, chiudere il tavolino e porre lo schienale della poltrona in posizione verticale. Vi ricordiamo che da questo momento i telefoni cellulari e tutti i dispositivi elettronici devono essere spenti. Vi invitiamo pertanto a verificare la loro disattivazione. Sono consentiti durante la fase di crociera e previa approvazione del personale di volo, rasoi elettrici, produttori non digitali di suoni e computer portatili non collegati con stampanti o collettori di compact disc. Ricordiamo che
that's the Italian here in the background. Pretty cool. Alright, so let's have the load sheet, preliminary load sheet over 2.5, and that is set. Sync live weather, and let's calculate. So 148, 148, flap 1 down 0.5, and vector 65. Let's send to the menu. And so that is set. And we are looking good. So let's see what the passengers are doing. 67 out of 149. So we can go upstairs, turn on the fuel pump, turn on the seatbelt sign, and let's start these APU. 1, 2, 3, 4, start. Well, there's no first class in this flight, Gavin. It's all one class. So you can talk to the flight attendant. Say hey. Yeah, everything is just one class in this particular aircraft. No first class at all. Everybody rides same way. Alright, 13 minutes to go. Let's go to our init page and flight plan on this side, and let's check our winds. This is land with 5.0. Let's get the winds on board. Not with that face. So we land with 4.9 tons, which is not bad for us. The alternate we have position here. Gavin says not with that face. I hear you, bro. I hear you. So our reserves should be 4.1. So we have that. We have 4.9, so not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see. 4.1 should be off minimum fuel on board. Alternate today is 2.5. So we have more than enough. Land with 4.9, and then we have 21 minutes of fuel extra, so we're good to go. We are. Alright, so leave that on perf. On our program, we can do LICJ. I can type LICJ 25. So we got 220 miles direct and 263 with all of the flight plan information in there. And if we look on our flight plan here, The ground distance is 280, so we're not too far from that. 268 is what we have, and so we're right within what it's supposed to be. Air distance is 241. We have 263 as what we'll be doing. So pretty close. So that is good to go. All right, let's check out what we should have with our departure before today's flight. We're leaving out of the Rome airport for a taxi. We will taxi out of Terminal 1, and then we will head northbound via Echo Golf through to Delta, and then Bravo. So I'm going to try to run into 5 for departure. So push back off of runway Scan 313. And we taxi via November Hotel, then Echo Golf all the way down to Delta, and then we make a right on Delta towards the end of the runway. And then of course our departure, so it's like 5 Alpha, we take off. A top altitude, do we have a top altitude here? Top altitude, there's none. Let's see what's on the Pepix 9 Bravo. Transition is 6,000, there's no top altitude. We'll take 1,000, so flight level 100, use that as our top altitude. And we are as usual with our departure. We're departing off of 25. Our speeds are 148, 148, 148. And below V1, we'll stop for any ECAM messages that will make the aircraft unflyable. At V1, we will depart. Climb 3,000 feet straight up. We'll be over water, so that will be fine. Once we fly over the water, we'll level at 3,000, assess the situation if we need to come back around below landing weight. So we'll be able to land with no problems. If on the ground, however, and we abort the takeoff, I'll close the thrust and thrust levers and yell stop. Bring the aircraft to a complete stop, assess whatever the situation is, and once we're able to, we will exit and return to the gate. If it's something that we can address right away, we will just address it and come back around for a second attempt. If there are no questions with that, then we are good to go. We are just waiting on the final set of passengers to get on board, and we can do the preparation checklist. Gear pins and covers are removed. Food quantity is fuel quantity is 6.9 tons, and that's on board. Seatbelt signs are on. Aiders and nav. Fire references 1012. Set 3 times. And the cockpit preparation checklist is complete. Alright, boarding is complete. We can close the flight door. We can. We're gonna use a random squawk code of 3522. That's very random. That's auto. And we can now do the final checks. So go back to our landing weight is 60. I'm I'm going to put 62.9 in here. There's a tendency sometimes when I'm editing this that it could cause some disconnect. So I do that underground just so that we don't have any issue. Let's go back to our Atsu. Let's final load sheet is in. Look against our here 5.2, 32.9. Let's accept that. Load sheet here, no need to calculate, it's the same thing. So just to recheck, 148, 148, 148, flaps 1 down to, and we are set to go. So we get our charts up. For that, let's do our checklist. So doors are closed, so we can disconnect the emergency power. I don't think there's anybody. Where do I? Oh. Okay. Right side is going to be flight plan, left side is going to be our perf, and we should start. All right, let's push north onto the taxiway, and we are ready to go. Continue pushback, and it's pushing. All right, parking brake is now released. We're now released, and we will. Begin our pushback. Before start checking, parking brake is set. Was set. Take off speed thrust. Check. Windows closed. Beacon is on. Before start check is complete. Alright, let's see how they're pushing us back in here. Sometimes GSX does the most weird thing ever. Pushing us back into a pole of some sort. That's it, gonna stop right here. Oh, there goes my tail. There goes my tail, of course. Parking brake is set. Let's start engine number 1, then 2. Starting engine number 1.
Signore e signori, buongiorno. A nome di Alitalia, membro di SkyTeam, l'equipaggio vi dà il benvenuto a bordo. Stiamo iniziando le procedure di disancoraggio e rollaggio verso la pista. Prima del decollo, vi invitiamo a prestare attenzione ai dispositivi di sicurezza di questo aeromobile. Ricordandovi il divieto di fumare su tutti i voli Alitalia, vi auguriamo buon viaggio. Ladies and gentlemen, Alitalia, member of SkyTeam, welcomes you on board. We are starting undocking procedures and taxi to the runway. Before takeoff, we would like you to pay attention to our safety procedures. Reminding you that all our flights are non-smoking. We wish you a pleasant trip.
signori, vi invitiamo a seguire con attenzione questo video sulle procedure e le dotazioni di sicurezza di questo aereo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask you to pay attention to the following presentation concerning safety procedures and equipment of this aircraft.
Il bagaglio a mano deve essere sistemato sotto la poltrona o negli appositi alloggiamenti sopra di voi.
Your hand baggage must be placed under the seat in front of you or in the overhead lockers.
Allacciate la cintura di sicurezza e regolatela. Per slacciarla, sollevate l'apposita parte della fibbia. Vi suggeriamo di mantenere la cintura di sicurezza sempre allacciata e visibile quando siete seduti.
Fasten your seatbelt and adjust it. To release it, lift the top of the buckle. We suggest to keep your seatbelt fastened and visible while seated.
Chiudete i tavolini, posizionate lo schienale della poltrona verticalmente e alzate gli oscuranti dei finestrini prima del decollo e dell'atterraggio.
Lock your tray tables, make sure that the seat back is in the upright position, and raise your window blind for takeoff.
In caso di depressurizzazione, le maschere per l'ossigeno si renderanno automaticamente disponibili. Prendete una maschera e attivatela tirandola verso di voi. Coprite il naso e bocca, regolatela e respirate normalmente. Indossate prima la vostra maschera e poi aiutate chi necessita della vostra assistenza. La maschera per l'ossigeno funziona regolarmente, anche se il sacchetto di plastica non si gonfia.
In case of loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will automatically be available. Activate your mask by pulling it towards you. Cover nose and mouth and breathe normally. Fit your mask first and then help those who need your assistance. The oxygen mask works properly even if the plastic bag does not inflate.
Vi invitiamo a prestare la massima attenzione sulla posizione di sicurezza da assumere in caso di necessità, riportata sul cartoncino illustrativo.
We suggest you to pay full
And the start
attention to
is
the brace
complete.
position you must adopt in case
We
of
can
need.
now do
Reported
the
on the safety card.
flows.
Tutte le uscite di emergenza di quest'aereo sono indicate da appositi segnali. Individuate quelle più vicine a voi.
All the emergency exits of this aircraft are shown by appropriate signs. Locate the ones nearest to you.
Right. Elevator. Down 0.5.
Un sentiero luminoso faciliterà il raggiungimento delle
At
uscite.
the start.
An illuminated escape path marking will help you to reach the
At
exit.
the start checklist, test not required eject status is checked. District 0.5 knots.
In caso di rapido abbandono dell'aereo, lasciate a bordo il bagaglio a mano e togliete le scarpe con i tacchi alti.
In case of a quick evacuation, leave your hand baggage on board and remove your high-heeled shoes.
Scendete tramite gli appositi scivoli e allontanatevi subito dall'aereo.
Alright. Our taxi lights coming on. Those on. And so we'll make a so let's see. Right, so we'll continue straight ahead, then down that way, make a left, and we are ready for taxi.
If necessary, put your life vest
Parking
on
brake is
by pulling the red handle
released,
just before leaving the aircraft.
and let's go.
Inflate the vest by blowing into the rubber tube. Infant life vests will be distributed. In case of need,
Commissioner Traffic, Taro 1777 taxi to runway 25 for departure. Visual traffic.
in case of ditching, slides can be used as rafts.
Brake test. Check 0.
Consentito seguendo le indicazioni del personale di
The use of electronic devices is permitted according to the directions of the cabin crew.
Nella tasca della poltrona davanti a voi troverete il cartoncino illustrativo con le norme di sicurezza. Vi invitiamo a prenderne visione attentamente.
Taxi checklist, flight control is checked. Flap setting is 1 plus F. Radar and windshield is on auto. Engine mode selector is norm. You can Status is take off no
È
glue.
vietato fumare e non è
This
consentito
is
l'uso
complete.
di sigarette elettroniche. Nelle toilet sono installati appositi
Let's
rilevatori
get
di
the sharpness up.
Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted in any area of this aircraft, including the lavatories, which are equipped with smoke detectors.
Il personale di bordo è perfettamente addestrato per fornirvi tutta l'assistenza in caso di necessità.
Our crew is perfectly trained to assist you in any situation.
Vi auguriamo un piacevole volo a bordo di ITY Airways.
Wish you a pleasant flight aboard ITY Airways.
And that was the announcement that you saw right there. So in this airplane, there is an option where you're able to put in real world airline voices and so on. So they have persons who would create those sounds. And so it makes it a little bit more realistic when you're hearing that from the actual area that you're flying into. So just a while ago, Italian Air. Alright, so Echo Golf, and then we make a left, sorry. Continue Echo Golf, then a right onto Delta. And then Delta Mike. Echo Golf. Then we make a right here.
Meine Damen und Herren, aufgrund gesetzlicher Bestimmungen sind Sie dazu verpflichtet, Hinweisschilder, Leuchtzeichen und Anweisungen der Besatzung jederzeit Folge zu leisten. In der Sicherheitskarte finden Sie auch die Schutzhaltung, die Sie einnehmen müssen, sollten wir Sie dazu auffordern. Bitte lassen Sie im Notfall Ihr Handgepäck an Bord. Vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine... Ladies and gentlemen, due to legal requirements, we ask you that you comply with all
That
protocols.
should not be what that is. Too much. Cool. And then we'll make that left. That's coming up here, and we'll taxi to runway 25, and we're good to go. Clear left and clear right. Let's get the before takeoff checklist, the lineup checklist. Takeoff runways runway 25 confirmed, and TCAS is now TARA, and packs 1 and 2 are on. Limujii traffic out, correction, Aylex 1777, line up runway 22 at Bravo Bravo, 25 at Bravo Bravo. Right. Strobe lights coming on. We are clear left and clear right, and we should be fine for departure because the traffic is coming off for landing.
Approaching 25.
Runway 34 right, which is over here, so that will be behind us.
On runway 25.
Fine. Final checks. get the Solstice 5 Alpha. All good. Flaps take off. Blue. There we go. And we're ready to go. Lights coming on. Immature traffic at ITY1777, depart runway 25 via the Solstice 5 Alpha departure. Immature traffic. Alright, let's go. Pressure on the stick, and let's go up to 50%. Stable, start the chrono, and max. Man flex. 65 SRS running, auto thrust is blue. 60 knots. Check. V1 rotates. Positive rate. Gear up. We have light tailwind. There's that guy right behind us there. Gear up. Lights come out. Climb first. Trust climb. Immature traffic, ITY1777. Cleared runway passing 1.3. Climb for level 100. Join the Solstice 5 Alpha departure. Last call. See ya. Let's hand fly the baby up to flight level 100. Speed check, flaps coming up. So the max speed on this departure is 200. So you need to keep the attitude of the airplane up as we're flying. 200 knots. There's so much going on when you're trying to fly single pilot, because you have to maintain all these different things. Trying to fly the airplane versus just throwing on the autopilot one time. Getting the attitude up. So we're following this green line here, the crosshairs right here, and this red triangle is what's telling us where we should be. So according to this, our max is 200, and so we're now heading on 220 down to Roman function 789, and our max is still 200. And there is that Roman coastline. The airport behind us here. And transition altitude standard is set. We go to flight level 290. Direct Sussex, and then join the Epix 9 Bravo. There we go. Speed now up to 250. direct to Turley to make life easier for us. Maintain 250 below 10,000 feet. This is level 100 security crossing. That's flight level 100, autopilot 1, and we can turn off the landing lights and the wing lights and run the after takeoff checklist. Spoilers disarm, flaps up, lights out, and we're good to go. Coming to flight level 290, we can going right here as we are the flight going over to Palmero. A cool 40-minute flight. Now joining the Pepix 9 Bravo. We're now direct to Canucks and then to Pepix, then to the rest of the flight plan, and then we'll be joining the arrival pretty soon. Really hoping that the FENIX will release their Neos pretty soon, so we can have some of those as well flying around. Nice difference. I've been trying to edit a picture like this with the sky above me blue and the crowd is also down. But it's really nice though. Kudos to the painter, even the person who designed it. That's really nice. Guys, enjoy the views. I have to step away for just a few minutes, but I will be right back.
Welcome to ACARS.
back to flight level 1, flight level 2990, that is. Right, so I think I may be, yeah, stepped away and I am so close to shut off flight. Alright, so let's begin our descent. 70 miles. I'm gonna have to go through that whole drama there. Ah! Had to step away from myself. Alright. So let's put the information in the arrival. Why is my sim doing this? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What are you doing? Enter a hole here. Run. Hold. Few minutes. Again. Right now. Why is there a right hole? What is going on? Let's see. Inbound. Let's see. Three-six-zero at 8 and no brakes. And alright, so level 1. So we want 360 at 8. 14. And we are are descending to so we could be between 51190 and 580 coming from the Huron. All the way down here, we need to get to 580. But we're kind of high. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take some vectoring of ourselves. We're gonna go 325. Headache. Hey, what's going on, George? Welcome, bro. Let's get down to 11,000 feet. Heading north. And then we're gonna swing back around towards Aylex. Let's see if we can get down to flight level 80. Yeah, I had to step away for a minute to do something, and again, with such a short flight and such tailwinds, we got here pretty much really quickly. So my 5 minutes outside was crazy. So we're gonna heading up 325 right now. And we're going to descend down to 11,000 feet, then further descend to 8,000, then fly direct to Aylex, and then rejoin the arrival. That way we could restabilize ourselves and probably fly direct to Binpu, so we can rejoin the final approach. So let's reduce our speed back to 240. Level up flight level 110. Then we'll make the right turn direct to Absid, and then region descending down to flight level 4,000. Slowing down. We can do that left turn in just a little while. Once we get to 360, then we will begin a left turn direct to Absid. Cool. And we will execute that. Primary traffic, ITY1777 descending to level 110, rejoining the Lauren 5 Lima approach for runway 25. Let's check out something. I'm seeing the winds here. So wind is 360 at 7. So let's see. Yeah, so runway 25 is the better. Actually, runway 07 is better than 25. Yeah, so runway 07. So I'll switch again. So let's go. Arrival. Let's take heading 215. And let's redo this. Arrival is the RNAV 07 Zulu via the Lauren 3 November. Let's insert that. And then we can reconfigure real quick. So the approach is now the RNAV runway 07. Lauren 3 November. There we go. So we'll go direct to ISOC or ISOC. ISOC. Ah. So let's see. We should be there by 5,000 or above 5,000. So we will descend to 8,000. Redo landing. Refresh. There we go. Right. Primary traffic. ITY1777 correction. We'll descend now to 8,000 flight level 80 to join the RNAV runway 07 approach. Primary traffic. And our speed at these intersections now are going to be, let's see, 230. Let's slow our speed down to 230. We're going to take it direct to ISOC, and then we will join the RNAV to BIBSO. 5,000. BIBSO at about 2,300, and we will be good to go shortly. We'll have our lateral and vertical deviation for the RNAV approach. which will act as an ILS. So we will have that with
Flight crew, please prepare for landing.
you. Speed 220, and let's get some speed brakes out to help us. Speed now to 0. Speed check for laps 1. Load speed brakes. Four mass and Bipso, reduce speed now 180. Final approach speed is 38. Check flaps 2. Primary traffic, ITY1777, left base joining the RNAV runway 0 for correction runway 07 around. Down. Gear down to green for laps 3. Speed check. Narrow traffic, ITY1777 is on short final runway 07. Check. Speed brake. Armed and flaps full. Check. Here we are on final for runway 07 with all that terrain on the right side. landing checklist. Landing ECAM, no blue. This is complete. And we are on fire. That was from the left quadrant. That left should still be. Check.
100 above. Minimum.
Continue. My airplane. It's going to be interesting with those. One of the things that makes these kind of approaches very interesting, the winds coming off of that mountain is what's going to have us bouncing all the way around. So we just got to try to be as stable as possible.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 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 5.
Speed brakes up. Decel. Reverses green. Knots. Reverse lights out. Manual braking. Reset. Stop the chrono. 47 minutes. And we probably would have gotten in here a little bit earlier if I didn't miss my top of the set and I had all that whoop to do. Nevertheless, we are on the ground with a minus 187, so that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Exit left. Clean up the aircraft. We just find parking menu. Primary traffic, ITY1777, clear runway 07, taxi to the ramp via Alpha. Correction via Tango. Gentlemen, welcome to Palmero. Lights coming off, lights coming off, probes coming off. We start the APU. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the parking stands, let's see. He is over at stand 213, so we'll take 211. Let's call GSX out for that. Tower 1779, you up? It's again 211. Here we go, 211. Lights. If you is available, the lead coming on. Was butter, bro. The line. See if we can get a dance. Parking brake is set. CPU is available. Bleed is on. And let's the engines. Hour and 5 minutes gate to gate, and we land. Very good parking, nice. But no, there's a dance, guys. There's a dance. There's a dance. Open got them style. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got the dance tonight. We got the dance tonight. Thank you, sir. Waiting for the end to come below 10 and we can turn off the beacon lights. That will trigger the deboarding process. Gate coming through and we can deboard. Great. And we can turn off the pumps. And power coming on, power coming on, and you can release the passengers. Great. So with a short flight like that, I think we can do the return. So we're gonna do a quick change where we're gonna get the second flight set up so that we can head back onto Rome. So I'm going to this Tower 1772. We can check out the deboarding process as that happens. We'll leave George and Gavin to ensure that these guys are doing what they're supposed to do. the Gavin, make sure that these crates, these containers are going to the correct place. So you're in charge of that. Ooh, the flight's going to be a little bit longer because these strong headwinds that we have. Oh yeah. So the thing that we have is going to be about, that's still pretty thick. Look at me having a conversation and not even having the mic on. Wow. Right. So I just checked. Sorry about that, guys. So we're setting up for the return flight to Rome. And let's change our call sign to 1782. And we are using the Asino 3 Charlie. 3 Charlie, and we're going in. It's going to be a straight-in approach, I can tell you that. So let's get that going. So it is the Asino 3 Charlie. There we go. All right. Those are the 2-4. All right, cool. That's now set up. So we are going to fly in via the Asino arrival, and then we will fly direct to Nivox, and we will insert that. Let's check it. And there we go. Pretty short flight again. So let's go. About 340 is our final cruise. And let's see our secondary flight plan. Our departure today, the Limujii, rather. Take off, immediate right turn. Oh, nope, yep, 07, so Jenna 6 Romeo. Straight ahead, left turn to Aseb. So let's see, after Aseb, if we have any issues, we will then return to Lima, India, Charlie, Juliet. And we will land on runway 07, and we will use the RNAV 07 Zulu. No star, no via. Let's double check that. Return. And there we have it. Perfect. So that is set up. We're good to do that. Radnav is fine. Perfinet, let's go to unit 3. Take on the right side. See. And we're going to be a little lighter today. A little light going back 56.9. And 32.6. Fuel on board 6.2. And we have headwinds of 54. Minus 50. So just about 55 minutes. See what our fuel information is telling us. So we should land with 2.8, 2.9, and our reserves are, our ultimate is 1.4, 1.4. Good. Then we'll accept that. Then take our wins. We're at 4.1. 4.2 is what we're saying with our win calculator, and we're good to go. Our landing weight is 60.4, so we'll insert that here. 60.4. Go back to our performance calculator here. Take the weather and recalculate. 47, 47, 48. 1 down 0.5, 68, 10 Perf is set, and our progress page, LIRF, runway 34 right, 220 miles on a head of 346 will take us directly to the runway. Perfect. So perf on this side, the flap on the right side, but I'm gonna head back into the Atsu just so that we can confirm our final load sheet that comes in. In the holding panel, we will turn on the fuel pumps, get back on the signs. All right. Over there is just sitting there. Anywhere? That's fine. How many passengers do we have left? 2 aboard. 13 minutes to go. Alright, so we are getting there. Are they yeah, it looks like the aircraft itself. So I'm wanting to see what they're gonna do with the aircraft for real. The AFB looks good. I didn't get to. I was falling asleep when I was watching that. The ITY1777. It's just not. I don't fly it near as much because it just doesn't seem. They still have some work to do with that airplane. So I'm hoping that with their update, they said they still don't have a release date as yet, but hopefully soon. I'm gonna actually take a look at it sometime this week, the video that they put out, and see what the hoopla is. It's really, if you check again to what is on even the the Phoenix. So it almost, I don't want to say that they would have been copied, and I don't want to say that at all, and I don't know. And who's to say? It doesn't really matter, because you can put your layout however you want to, and it could be similar to the other. The layout is pretty much like or it's a mix between the Mad Dog and the Phoenix, and probably looking like the PMDG, but that doesn't really mean much, to be very honest. I like the idea that they're doing it more modern, and that would give it a better look than what is there. But I don't want to just have the modern look. I need the airplane to fly better, be more in terms of the handling and so on. That's what I am hoping for. The aircraft, for whatever reason, when I push back, I have to push up my throttle for it to move. Once I release the brakes, it's supposed to move. I shouldn't have to move my throttle before the aircraft does that. So I'm hoping that they fix that as well, the breakaway thrust. So we'll see how that works. Otherwise than that, I am still waiting for PMDG's Max to come out. I know once theirs come out, it's gonna be rather interesting. We can see, if we look through the windows here, the passengers actually walking to their seat. Pretty cool. What you'll actually see in the real world. 110 from 135 is what the boarding is. Yeah, some sounds great. Yeah, sounds great, and the rudder some reason it just doesn't fly. It's not stable in my estimation. So I'm hoping that with the update that it would get better. The sounds, I think I have another friend who is more into sound than I am, and I would have to ask him to check that out to see if the sounds are on par to what they're supposed to be. Now, I've flown on the Maxes before. I've flown on Caribbean Airlines and American Airlines with the Maxes, so I know it's quiet. The engine startup sounds, it's a bit loud. If you go outside and try to start the engines on the mat, it's just too loud, too loud. But we'll see how that fares when it comes in the update. With the FENIX LEAP engine, with the NEOs, I'm waiting to hear the finishing touches on that, or the finished product on that, so that we can kind of have that comparison in terms of what they sound like, because they're similar engines in a sense. So let's see how that works. All right, we're coming up to just about the last passenger taking their seats, and we can then get ourselves ready for our departure. 1:33, so we have 2 more passengers to get on board and have her seats, and we are boarded. Great. So let's close the doors and watch those doors close as well. Lieutenant has closed up the ship. Great. So let's get our load sheet. Final load sheet says 56.9. So let's double check. 56.9, 32.6, and 6.2. Perfect. So let's accept that. About to flight on this side, and perf on the left side, and we are good to go. 6 minutes to spare, so let's disconnect power, and we will get the beacon light coming on. So let's run through the checklist real quick. Before our checklist, parking brake is set, thrust, takeoff speeds and thrust is set. Windows closed, beacon is on, and before our checklist is complete. So 47 minutes to get here. We're gonna clear that out. We're gonna maintain an hour and 5 minutes, which is our whoa. Okay, don't know what happened a while ago, so let's request that push and start. Okay. Sure what happened a while ago, but that disconnected, but it did. Nevertheless, we press on. So while they get themselves ready, Roger. Overhead panel is set. Let's make that announcement real quick. Palermo traffic. ITY1777. Push and start from stand 211. Expecting runway 07 for departure. Palermo traffic. That's what we do. Get in, get out. We'll push facing east.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes is released, and we'll restart the timer.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Roger. We'll start at will. Start sequence is 2, then a 1. Number 2. See, he's over there using Neo. Oh, we don't have any. Well, actually, we do the Inibils, but I prefer the Phoenix. Okay, so I should have pushed back facing the west. Oh well, that's quite fine. We won't die.
Set parking brakes.
Brake is set.
Unlocking gear.
Not sure what's going on with this. Let's see. Alright, so I can't get anything. Alright, let's not worry ourselves with that. So we can just figure that out. And so we'll make a right turn to hotel. Join Tango now. That's fine. So Romeo Hotel and Tango. No problem at all. Challenge number 1.
Light has been removed.
Sure.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Challenge number 2 is available. Number 1 is starting. 2 is rising. And 1 is rising. See you on the next time. Machine 1 is now available. Nope. After take off, after start checklist in a moment, when the after start closed. Checks, rudder left, rudder right, neutral, right, pull left, neutral, pull up, pull down, neutral, and down 5, set, checklist. After start checklist, anti-ice not required, ecam size check, fish trim 0.5 down, rudder trim is neutral, set, and the step. After start checklist is complete. APU coming off. That's checklist. Flight control check, flap setting 1+F, radar, and prediction widget on an auto. Engine mode is normal, and the ecam memo is take off. No blue, that's correct. I've been checked.
Aereo, lasciate a bordo il bagaglio a mano e togliete le scarpe con I tacchi alti.
In case of a quick evacuation, leave your hand baggage on board and remove it.
In case anyone who wants to hear that, you
Scendete
can
tramite
hear.
depositi scivoli e allontanatevi su. Il salvagente si trova nella tasca sotto la vostra poltrona. In caso di necessità,
Traffic,
indossatelo
ITY1777, taxi runway 07 via Hotel Tango. Whole short runway, Romeo Hotel Tango, whole short runway 07.
per bambini. In caso di necessità,
Taxi
dovranno
light
essere
coming on,
prima di abbandonare l'aereo.
and we're returning. Upgrade
Your
release.
life vest is located under your seat. If necessary, put your life vest on and inflate it by pulling the red handle just before leaving the aircraft.
Great
You
check.
can also manually inflate the vest by blowing into the rubber tube. Infant life vests will be distributed. In case of need, they must be inflated before leaving the aircraft.
In caso di ammaraggio, gli scivoli potranno essere utilizzati come battelli.
In case of ditching, slides can be used as rafts.
L'utilizzo delle apparecchiature elettroniche è consentito seguendo le indicazioni del personale di volo.
The use of electronic devices is permitted according to the directions of the cabin crew.
Nella tasca della poltrona davanti a voi troverete il cartoncino illustrativo con le norme di sicurezza. Vi invitiamo a prenderne visione attentamente.
For further information, please read carefully the safety instruction card placed in the seat pocket in front of you.
Clear left.
Vi ricordiamo che a bordo
clear
è
right.
vietato fumare e non è consentito l'uso di sigarette elettroniche. Nelle toilet sono installati appositi rilevatori di fumo.
Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted in any area of this aircraft,
Including the lavatories, which are equipped with smoke detectors.
Il personale di bordo è perfettamente addestrato per fornirvi tutta l'assistenza in caso di necessità.
Our crew is perfectly trained to assist you in any situation.
Vi auguriamo un piacevole volo a bordo di ITY Airways.
We wish you a pleasant flight aboard ITY Airways.
cliff face must be ridiculously incredible.
Assistente di volo prepararsi al decollo.
Meine Damen und Herren, aufgrund gesetzlicher Bestimmungen sind Sie dazu verpflichtet, Hinweisschilder, Leuchtzeichen und Anweisungen der Besatzung jederzeit Folge zu leisten. In der Sicherheitskarte finden Sie auch die Schutzhaltung, die Sie
Approaching
einnehmen müssen,
20.
dazu auffordern. Bitte lassen Sie im Notfall Ihr Handgepäck an Bord.
Runway
Vielen Dank für
20.
Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Wir wünschen Ihnen einen angenehmen Flug mit Condor. Ladies and gentlemen, due to legal requirements, we ask you that you comply with all placards, lighted signs, and crew member instruction at all times. The safety information card also shows the brace position which you must adopt if instructed by the crew. Thank you for your attention. We wish you a pleasant stay with Condor.
Clear traffic, ITARO 1782, line up runway 07. And we are ready to go.
Approaching
guys.
7. Crossing 7. On runway 7.
Checklist. Takeoff runway 07. TCAS is PARA, and the PAX 1 and 2 is on, and we are ready to go. ITARO 1782, takeoff runway 07. However, traffic. 50%. Pressure on the stick. Stable. Max Manflex 68 SRS. Auto thrust is blue. Check. 100 knots. B1 rotates. Pause and bring a climb and gear up. So we have strong head crosswinds there. Could even keep the aircraft straight on the runway. Look at that, we're blown off course. Whatever traffic, ITARO 1782 cleared runway, passing 1,100. Continue climbing via the Jiran departure. Clear traffic last call. Flaps up, speed check. While turning the aircraft, you try not to be as aggressive as you would be yanking the stick. Just try to do small changes while you're moving the side stick. that no trick.
Vediamo viva di distintivo, cintura allacciata, che il capitano non scatterà fino a segnare il cruise. Ladies and gentlemen, we're planning.
I'm finding Airbus is so much easier than flying. feet, autopilot 1. Rettigiano and climate pilot. Music as we climb up to 50340. Let's go on. Alright, so we're coming up close to our top of the descent now, and let's double check a couple of things on the Rome arrival. Of course, something's gonna go wrong, right? Something is going to go wrong. Charts aren't trying to work. Computer-based charts. Okay, not sure what's going on here. Casino. Casino below for level 1.0. Let's go ahead and begin for descent. Level 1.0. And for the arrival 3 for right, I have that's ending. So what we're going to do is we're going to, for the arrival, we're going to fly to Asino, then from Asino direct to Neva, or Neva, however you want to pronounce it. Or we can descend. No, we'll go from Asino and then descend to get to Nivasat to about 3,000 feet. So let's set that up. Or we could just go direct to Nivax right now, which could, or we can go to Romeo. Let's make it easier. So we're gonna go to Romeo Foxtrot 463. Romeo Foxtrot 463 is what we're gonna go direct to. Foxtrot 463. And then we're gonna have to do a steeper descent. descending down to level 110, and based on the chart we're supposed to be there above fire level above 4500, and then we'll also be at Roman Foxtrot 466 at 4500. So we're going to descend. Now we're going to reduce our speed down to 210. Welcome back, George. Welcome back. Flowing down now to 210. below 7,000 feet. Alright, we're on 210 and we'll continue to be set up to 5,000. We set to 4,000, then the constraint will be there for 45 feet. Seems like you went to sleep there, George. Set now 3,000 feet. Reduce speed to 205. Miles out from the field, approaching New Vox. Airport altitude is 2,000 and 4,000. So we shall set that on once we are lined up. Reduce speed now to 180 as we come up to the 15-mile range. Speed check, flaps 1. Future traffic, ITY1777. Descend to 3,500 to Idabu to join the Aylex runway 34 right. Future travel. Field is right here. Field is at our 11 o'clock. Localizer. Localizer is armed. Flaps 2. Speed check. Localizer live. Localizer is live. Army approach. Localizer is captured. Look star. Localizer captured. Light swap is alive. Gear down. Gear down, 3 green. Lights down. Capture. 1,000 on the missile approach. We'll go find our full speed. Lap 3, let's go check. And flat 4. Speed check. It was out. Are fully established and fully configured. Landing checklist.
2,500.
Check. On. Future traffic. ITY1782 on a semi-final runway 1 pressure 34 right. Future traffic. Landing checklist. Decab no blue. Checklist complete.
1,000.
Okay. Whites to reds. Future traffic, ITY1782, 2 mile final runway, 34 right. Landing inhibit. Airplane.
300.
Check.
100 above. $200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 7. 5.
2 brakes up. 2 in reverse. Reverse green. Diesel. A Knox. Manual braking. "49 minutes on the return." And that landing was a little bit firmer than before, but that is okay. Exit via Delta, and we'll clean up the aircraft. Future traffic, ITY1782, cleared of runway 34 right via Delta, taxi to the ramp. That's coming off. Strobe lights coming off. Start the time, start the view, 3, 4, and start. Reset. To 313, back to where we started. We could make it 306 to make it easier, just back in. So 306 is our gate. Airports would be all that taxi. 2, he says. I'll take it. Man, join Team Bus. Well, I like the Airbus, man. I like it. Until they bring out my 757, man. I'm gonna be on the bus. I need to actually tweak the 737 a bit because for some reason I'm not getting it the way I like. It's a bit twitchy for me, so I'm gonna have to check that out and see what's going on. So, go. Here. Towards the right. We're just gonna take this US out. Take 2 3. .307 would be our gate for this morning. Colin Tyrone. I haven't heard from Tyrone in a minute. Parking brake is set. EPU bleed is on. We can disconnect. Two hours, 14 minutes block to block time. And let's see what's going on here. Parking brake is set. Release the passengers. And I'll run the below 10. And there we go. Alright guys, we are here at the gate back in Rome. It was a pleasure flying with you guys to Rome, well, to Palermo and back. Our flight time, gate to gate time was 2 hours and 14 minutes. Flying the lovely I love the A320. This is the Milano Cortina. The Milano Cortina livery. Supporting that for the Olympic, Winter Olympic Games 2026. And so it was really nice flying this livery. Kudos to the painter for doing this, and of course the persons who would have come up with the idea to paint such an airplane. We just got here with this guy, this main spot. Yeah, so I am happy for that. Those two flights, pretty short, going back and forth out of Rome. Rome is always a nice airport to fly out of. I like the shot. The shot is pretty cool. But yeah, plane. Yeah, so flying to and from Palermo, coming back on the A320 Phoenix, it was a fantastic flight going and coming. A little more firm on the arrival, landing into Rome, but hey, we were able to get it on the ground and here safely, so that's fantastic. Yeah, the guy waiting on his flight. I guess I was late coming into Rome. All right, guys, we are back at the gate. Thank you once again for joining this evening as we did that rotation out of Rome. The next time that we fly could be very, very soon. So of course, if it's your first time here on the channel and you like what you see, I do appreciate those thumbs up. It really helps the channel and it just lets me know that you appreciate the content that is being created. Unfortunately, it is not as simple as coming on every day, so I can't give you the content daily because real life does have a part to play in it. However, we do have a Discord. Ensure that you sign up for the link. Of course, you can do !Discord in the chat and that will give you the link towards the Discord, and you will get any sort of updates that we have concerning the channel. If you haven't already done so, clicking the subscribe button also assists. We do appreciate the follow as well. And once you click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you never miss the next time that we go live. Hopefully in the future we can do some more updates on the channel, bringing you some more videos. Again, once Real World commits, we will definitely have those done. Thank you so much, and I do hope that you have a fantastic rest of the week. It's only Tuesday, but Friday is coming. Friday is coming. It's almost the weekend. It is almost the weekend. Take care, guys, and enjoy